Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. I'm John Taku, your executive producer here, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters on Patreon at patreon.com/fsfilm. Rowan Parker, Trevian Alexander, Samantha Bates, Cat Waterflame, and Elle, without whom we wouldn't be able to do nearly as much of the things that we do now. So thank you all very much for supporting us, as well as everyone else that watches and supports us on Patreon and watches us on YouTube and here on Twitch. For those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran Terra Shadowfront. I am John Taku, your game master for the evening. I am joined today by Alana.
Hello, I'm Alana. I'm playing the role of Camille tonight, also playing Annabella, the human ranger.
And Jack.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Gent Minar, the half-elf spellslinger triggermancer, and the Bo Burnham song that describes my life
I'm
is
glad
entitled
we're on the same page.
Shit.
Oh man, I should have named mine. Mine is how the world works.
There you
Every
go.
time you say your name, like the full name of your character, I instinctively add a D to the end of it, or D and S, so it's Get Menards every single time.
Sure, why not?
I don't know
Department
why. It
stores
just
or whatever.
happens. It happens. And also joining us is Cody.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm playing Ithram Valar, Hobgoblin War Wizard. I don't know enough songs.
Oh, why am I putting that's not what I'm putting in there. And also Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Sin, a changeling warlock. I feel like mine would probably be that funny feeling. I don't know.
And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Valdeth, the Dwarven Samurai. And I honestly could not tell you. I don't know enough of Bo Burnham's library.
That you need to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Vespia, the Tiefling Chandler, and I likewise don't know enough songs.
And Craig.
Hi, I'll be playing Grumman Bellmender, the Dwarven Drunken Master Monk. And this conversation came up because I was just introduced to Bo Burnham and thus don't know pretty much any of his songs. I am an old dad and I listen to the Kinks and Johnny Cash pretty much exclusively. That is not true, but
He obviously chose the wrong thing.
I do like the Kinks though. Village Green Preservation Society is majority.
Y'all need to get your Bo Burnham education.
Seriously.
That's what I'm here for. I pretend to show up and play characters, but I'm just here for pop cultural recommendations. I'm going to keep doing this to John Kent.
Oh, look. Triple dot menu mute. And Mara.
Hi,
You can't
I'm
control
Mara.
me. Sorry, Mara.
I'm playing Titania Valkorian, a Ladrin druid of the Circle of the Grim Harvest.
And I'm seeing if I can stall for enough time for a network connection to complete.
If I wanted to be mean, I
I'm-
could say that somebody's song it would be lower your expectations, but
Oh.
You
I
know,
feel
why'd
like
you have to
that's-
call me out like that, Jeremy?
I feel like that. I was gonna say. I feel like that's the channels. song.
yeah, that's true. That is the channel.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Heard any of it.
And also returning.
Well played.
Hey! Yeah.
in the
I'm
role.
so sorry I'm late.
No, you're great.
We're
You are
literally-
literally right on time.
Yeah,
We are-
The introduction.
perfect timing.
We are literally still in the
Holy
middle of the
shit.
introduction, so everyone's going to have to watch while I fix cameras. But also returning
Excellent.
is Nikki.
Hey, yo, it's Scuzz. I'm back.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and retool all the cameras. But while I do that,
No worries.
Yeah,
Also, hair looks great.
While John
Thank
does
you.
that, how
Hair looks
far
amazing.
out of
Thank you.
sync are
Love
you?
it.
Have you been watching the stream, or are you just coming in blind?
Like my sweet goblin child, I am coming in completely blind. I tried to watch a couple of them, and then my brain was just like, you know, we really want to know how to reupholster a couch. And just
I literally think I'm on my second new character since you were
Yeah.
last here.
I heard about this. And Scuzz may or may not have seen them die, which is fine.
I operate on the rule of player characters that aren't here anymore, unless explicitly stated otherwise in an exit strategy, are just sort of hanging around in the back the entire time.
By the way, this is Maya. I made this.
Oh, hey.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a dog at first.
Yep.
Not wrong, but
No, I meant like when you went over to the bed, I thought there was gonna be an animal on it. I didn't see the kid.
I mean, that's also, again, it's still not wrong.
Not that
Nikki,
your child
I do have to
resembles it all.
say, nice work. Very
Thank
lifelike.
Yes.
Yes. I, it's talent. What can I say?
what kind of silicone did you use for that? I'm really interested.
It's a
Actually,
hell of a
it's
3D printer you got there.
Joking aside, I don't know if the lighting made it not hard to see. She's real light. when she popped out, I was like, I ran out of cyan. Dang.
We missed you.
So, when last we left off, sort of worrying everybody in a
stop
little
shit
bit.
talking me.
You should do from last we left off, but from Nikki's perspective.
Right, from Scuzz's
Sweet.
Recap
Really
the
far back.
entire time.
When last
Yeah.
we left off from Scuzz's perspective, there was a dust bunny underneath one of the rugs in the mansion that you were cleaning up, and
I
that
found
bunny,
the cheese that I thought I misplaced.
yeah.
I found
And
it. It was on the roof. Don't know how it got there, but that's where it was. I found a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
whose baby it is, but
Yeah.
we got a
Definitely.
baby now.
Found-
We don't have
yeah.
a baby. I found a home for the baby.
Found a random baby.
Found a random baby.
Anyways, when last we left off, as far as the current installation of the narrative is concerned, the Steelhearts had found their way to the gathering of the Legions of Desolation, directed there by Ethereum, who and discovered that there was some sort of ongoing conflict revolving around giant kind and dragon kind. Around the head of the Titan, the Titan corpse or skeleton that sort of decorates the coast of Desolation, dipping into the water. And in addition to these two conflicting forces, there also appears to be a third, as what can only be described as Titankin has emerged from the remains of the Titan to defend it, thus instituting a three-way conflict between dragons, giants, and titans. Oh my. The Legions of Desolation have gathered together to sort of convene and see what the fuck we're going to do about it, while two of the Legions of Desolation have thrown in their lot with two of the three-sided conflict. We pick up with the group, I believe, reconvening just outside the moot area. Some of you had done things in the Duskreach camp, and others had done things in the meeting ground, and then were coming back and crossed each other's path. Sin had headed off to do some things, and then came back and banished a helpless hobgoblin into the ether, only to assume their form and step into the place where they were sitting as Grumman had been talking to them. And I don't remember if you had pressed on from that position yet.
I think that's right where we left it.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
we stopped.
So, where is who going where?
It's pretty late in the day, right?
Let's see. You got there in time to. You teleported there. You got there. You teleported there from Core. It was the morning in Core because you teleported straight to Core in the morning. Spent several hours in the Black Archives, then teleported from there to Desolation accidentally via a door, fell down a cliff, flew up a cliff.
Ithram then teleported us to the moot place.
To the moot.
Saw a fight.
Saw a fight. Have you had a rest yet?
Not
No.
since then, I don't.
No.
Not
So
a-
yeah.
Not a long rest. We did eat.
As I recall, we were about to go see Ithram's mother.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
definitely
yes.
yeah, it's later in the day, and Ithram at the very least was heading into the sanctified zone to see Mom.
Vespia's still wrapped around him, so she's gone too.
As I recall, Valdeth and I don't know if anyone else was going with them. Went to and has already spoken to Ithram's father about getting a conversation with the Stone Bones.
That was Valdeth
their
and
Taraskers.
Ithram and Vespia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys already talked to Dad, though. We were were all going to go see Mom, right?
And am I misremembering, or that the Titan spawn are called Taraskers? Or
there are a number of people called Taraskers who are descendants from Tarasks, but
Right.
they are not Titan spawn. No.
Oh, so different group. Okay.
Yeah.
I am glad.
Descendants from people who fought Tarasks, not descendants from Tarasks, right?
But
yes,
that were
they're descendants from people that fought Tarasks who were then imbued with the blood of the dead Tarask and
Right.
turned them into Taraskers.
fucking metal.
I was going to say, ain't nobody out here trying to fuck a Tarask, is what you're saying. That has survived.
Grumman's here now.
At least,
At least say never.
Sir, you are married.
means nothing.
I know.
I'm single, but I like to play. What can I say? I like
right.
big world-ending beasts, and I cannot lie.
Wow. Then we'll have
So that
shifted
happened.
back to Zara form
Okay.
at some point.
So yeah, so are all of you
Just so I can
following?
make you all deal with the accent.
Yeah,
Are all of you going to see Ithram's mom?
I think so.
Yes.
I am.
Good.
Oh, that's right, because where we actually ended off was right after the "What are your intentions with my wizard?" conversation.
Mhm.
Yes.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man's got to look out for his bestie.
Ithram being significantly more concerned for the Gent being significantly more concerned for the well-being of Ithram in regards to Vespia than Ithram's father was, who was just like sort of, good on you. Of course, to be fair, Ithram's father had just finished annihilating somebody with a pair of meteor hammers, so he was a little bit preoccupied. All right. I am still working on this. But
He
we'll
was
go ahead and
he was
continue.
still on that murder high.
Murder High, coming to a CW near you.
Would watch.
Yep. Well,
I mean, that's just Assassination Classroom, but live action.
Maybe not on CW, something on a streaming service, because it would need to,
I would, if they did it.
And we lost two
High
cameras.
style.
Yep, Nikki's camera turned off, which is presumably because Nikki had to step away, and Ilana's camera turned off. I don't know why.
Oh god.
Alana's having momentary technical difficulties, but I'm still here.
That's fine. I can still see the E, which is what I need.
E.
E. Something. Anyways. So, the group of you head into the sanctified ground, the neutral territory of the moot. Once again, stepping between the very well kept. So that's definitely going to start showing up on people's screens now. So please don't do that.
Didn't know you changed your camera setup.
No, I haven't. There's just enough people now.
No.
Actually, no. Never mind. Actually, it didn't show up. Never mind. You're good. Continue. That doesn't pop up unless I open it. Interesting. Cool.
God.
Sorry, I got confused. I got distracted there. You head into the ruins. Why am I trying to do 5 things at once?
Because you're you.
ADHD.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Oh, God.
Going to find what? Craig, what is happening?
Well, they broke tiny arrows.
All bold tiny arrows coming to a toy store near you.
It's a dwarf, but otherwise, yes.
Okay, that's what happened. So you're heading to find your mom, Ithram. You head into the the forum. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
you head
the
to the
forum proper.
Thank you. Yeah, forum proper. Looking around for where the primary meeting is going to happen, and she's not too terribly difficult to find, as currently she is having a bit of a conversation with a member of another tribe. You all come across Avira Volar, standing sort of dressed more well put together than the last time you all saw her. The last time you all saw her was very much in more casual, I'm just amongst my legion outfit. Now she is wearing what could best be described as sort of like a proper wizard robe setup. She's got this sort of high collared white half cloak on top of yellow and brown and black robes. With a small, what looks like a fox, but made of volcanic stone, with bits of magma sort of roiling just underneath the surface and flames where the eyes should be, just sort of sitting at her feet as she is engaging in conversation. In one hand, propped up her staff, which is the first time most of you have seen her actual proper mage staff. It's a large gnarled wooden staff with a sort of a clawed hand carved into the top that is clutching this permanently lit orb of flame that's just sort of licking up through the fingers of the top of the staff, providing illumination like a torch. That ends at the bottom with a large glaive blade, so this curved, polearm blade at the other end of the staff. Point down, sort of on the ground, obviously using it as a staff as opposed to a weapon, and just sort of with her hair pulled back and tied up into a long ponytail. Seems to be engaged with another hobgoblin regarding the seating, where the various leaders are going to be sat, where their advisors should be around the forum. Keep this legion leader between this one and this one, otherwise there will be bloodshed, but don't keep them too far away because they'll feel like they're being insulted, etc., 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 as you approach.
I'll wait until she's finished up, and then approach.
The conversation winds to a point that's fairly easy to intrude upon, and you step up, and as you do, the slightly cautious look on her face just sort of turns, sees you, and then becomes a little bit more welcoming as she repositions herself, and the little magma elemental adjusts around her feet. Ethereum, welcome home. I see you have made it to the forum in one piece.
Yes. Thank you, Mother. We've made it in time to see one of Father's challengers, and came inside to see if you had time to talk for a bit.
Yes. How did the challenge go?
Cleared 2 tents.
Good. Good to know his armor is not failing in his old age. Come. And she sort of gestures towards the collected. The forum is sort of stacked in what you would refer to as stone bleachers. There are no large raised platforms or anything. It's just slabs of stone that are in ascending height, and she just sort of moves over to one, sits down, raises her staff, and plants the blade into some of the stone. You actually hear the wood crack as she jams it down and embeds the blade of her staff into the stone. Let's go of it so it continues to stand. As my son tries to come over here and knock a monitor down. Ready?
What password?
Okay, go ahead. Leaves the staff standing and sort of sits cross-legged on the stone next to it.
I have a few new people with me. This is Vespia. Motions towards Vespia. We also have Annabella
Hi.
and Drummond.
Very pleased to make your acquaintance.
He looks at the group of you.
And
Yes.
also Zara.
Hello.
Looks at the group of you. Yes, welcome. I see the steel hearts grow in number every day. Looks over at Vespia. Aren't you the one who is so enticingly wrapped around my child? What is your purpose?
To help, of course.
You get this, and as these, like, she's not making any sort of a face in particular, but as those, like, golden eyes lock onto you, you feel threatened. Like, not like a I'm threatening somebody way, but in a you feel threatened by her presence. And she looks at you. She doesn't, like, make any overt gestures. There's just something about the way she's looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
And in what manner do you do this?
I have come to assist them. I'm from the True Library.
Ah, in Astro Walker, then.
Yes.
Well, so long as your assistance is desired, then I'm sure you will be in good company.
It is. She will shoot her a smile.
Directs the sort of, just allows the smile to fall off and just glances over toward, and directs her gaze over towards Ithram.
Yeah.
So, you had questions?
Yes. Well, we had heard a bit about what is happening over at the Titan's Skull, and that may be something we may be interested in as well. But have you heard? Do you know anything of the Mage King Kestrel?
Scattered stories here and there, tales of heroes from long ago, from realms near and far. Nothing concrete or special, or specific, I should say. Tales of a powerful mage protecting his kingdom, continues to protect his kingdom to this day, according to the tales.
Yes. Well, thanks to Vespia, we were able to glean some more information, the location of his kingdom, and some of the items that were lost with him, maybe left on the other side. We believe there may be a door, a portal tied to his kingdom through one of the chakras of the Titan's skeleton.
One of the chakra points.
But we are unsure where or how to search for one such portal.
Well, those are the places where the magic of the Titan remains. Something of that potency cannot be truly killed, not in the way that is meaningful to those of us of mortal lives, but the life force of the Titan continues on in these locations, precisely. If you are to be looking for any sort of magic, those would be the places I would suggest. The head is going to be the best one to look at for the moment, as there are 3 there, but obviously there is conflict.
Yes.
I have heard tale of weird things occurring around and within the bonds of the Titan, as long as we have been a legion here, as long as any of the legions have been here. It is a constant source of superstition and mystery. So where you would start, well, maybe a little coincidental, but I find that when I'm looking for something useful, I look for something that people want, and there seems to be something that people want at the head.
That was my thoughts as well, but 2 legions and a third faction.
Mm. Yes, it would be difficult to approach. It would be difficult to get through, at least without the equivalent amount of brute force on your side or some sort of stealth trickery at hand. I do not suppose you have mastered your illusions, Ithran.
That is one school I have been lacking, if I must be honest.
Mm. Well,
I have a few, but nothing that
Ithram
helpful.
still hasn't learned prestidigitation, has he?
Nope, but that's not needed ever.
Why learn
It's
prestidigitation?
just the sound of a goblin somewhere going, it's the most useful spell.
Speaking of sounds, it is
Yep.
roughly at this point that you all hear the beating of dragon wings. And instinctively, Avera grabs her staff and looks up to the sky. I did not think any of their fighters or scouts would be coming this way at this point. We had not made our presence hostile.
Gen's gonna dash outside and have a look.
Yep.
You are outside.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
forum. It's an open
Get-
forum.
okay. Gent is well, actually, what sort of vertical structures are around us then? Because Gen's just gonna run up as high as he can, and
Yeah, there's a variety of columns that
Okay.
would, like, at one point, sort of like just serve as to sort of ring the forum.
Yep. He's
Annabella's gonna do the
he's
same.
Spider climbing up there.
Okay.
Well, I don't spider climb, but
Ithram, lad, I don't suppose that you all round about here have any sort of winged postal service or anything?
Oh, unfortunately not.
All right, so that's probably a bad sign then, yeah?
Um,
Go ahead. Anyone
Most-
who wants to, by the
Yeah.
way, especially can give you perception checks. Those of you that decided to get up to higher ground quickly can give me a perception checks with advantage.
I've got an
Absolutely.
inspiration because I'm mad at that.
I got a 14.
23. There we
See
go.
nothing.
Exception. 21.
Anyone else rolling?
Yeah.
yes, I'm rolling. Give me 1 second.
11.
20.
I'm too busy asking Ithram about the postal service.
Hey man, it's important to know who's doing your deliveries.
Annabella 29. Either
Nice.
way, with advantage, I rolled 29 twice.
Nah, nice.
All right.
Yeah, and she's getting as high as she can.
Yeah.
Considering she can't climb like Gent.
Yeah.
Smoking
Um,
that good. shit.
So those of you that rolled higher than a 20,
Higher than or
equal
20?
to or higher than 20
Okay.
works. Yes. You hear the raspy tones of someone going over the winds as this dragon approaches, and as you're looking at it, it seems to be flying weird. It's flying like A, it's not fully under its own power, and B, whatever is under its own power doesn't know how to drive.
Oh, bloody hell.
Do I recognize?
You do. You recognize
Okay,
as you
yeah.
sort of get a look at it, you recognize the color and shape.
I'll just put my arm out for my mom to put her staff down.
So, about 100 feet up, the dragon disappears in a puff of smoke, and that somewhat triumphant sound is replaced by that. Nikki, how would you please describe what they see falling out of the air towards them?
You ever see a dog put its head out the window and its jowls are catching the wind and there's snot everywhere? And there's usually a look of delight. It's that on a goblin. There, just pure delight as they plummet towards you all. At however quickly a goblin falls.
Increasingly gravitational speeds.
Yes, Featherfall is prepared.
Everyone's just like, this bitch. And you see Scuzz. He's got a wardrobe change. He's wearing a lovely long coat that is billowing behind him. It's glorious. A cool hat that doesn't seem to be coming off his head, even though he is picking up velocity. And he just sees you and he's like, hey guys. Or just hey guys.
This is just flapping tongue off to one side, the cheeks opening, going.
Very confused hand raises.
This is the worst.
My delivery. No.
Question. I have a question.
You're about to have several more once he gets down here.
Yeah, within 60 feet, and then just instead of straight, down, just pops to skydiving form for Featherfall.
So, what does your Featherfall look like when you cast it?
It looks like a little lightning bolt just shoots out of his fingers and then just poof around him, around the target.
All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna name it that one.
Hello.
Whoops.
I made it. Sorry, I'm late. I was making sure the house was rogue-proof. How long has it been?
Year and a half.
Quite a while.
So we'll say for purposes of how long Scuzz has actually been away, a little over a year.
Did I get lost? Maybe. In a magical portal at some point? Also possible. Did I turn into a ghost at one point? Yes. Did I die? Still haven't figured that out yet. But I am here. He's saying all this as he's gently floating down.
Have I been briefed on Scuzz?
Like I said, you're gonna have several more.
And the hand starts going back up.
I feel like I should.
You have new people. Hi, my name is Scuzzamulti Buckets. I am your friendly neighborhood time traveling, dimension hopping rogue, and I'm back from house sitting.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Grumman Bellmender. I feel like I'm a new one of the group. I feel like maybe I didn't get the memo because you came in flying down from on high, and then when Annabella joined up, that's Annabella there. She came down from on high, and I was in my little igloo in my skivvies. So
that sounds nice.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I should get to redo my introduction.
Would you like to go flying?
Convenient cliff.
So you did go careening off a cliff at one point.
I will say that both of my times flying into my friends were both by choice, but not by my own volition.
Well, that is good. Gent did try to throw me into the sea yesterday. He's a rascally little scamp.
Gent! It's because it's like trying to hug you. Again, feather falling very slowly.
Right, yep. Gent will come down off of his perch. Back
When
to
Gent
ground
comes
level.
down, Annabella comes down as well.
Well, Buckets, you're back.
Buckets. Good to see you again.
Hello. The house is secure.
Good to know.
Excellent.
Out of character, I would assume that Scuzz has been discussed at some point. Right?
I'm not making that assumption.
Okay.
Me either.
Scuzz has been
I'm-
mentioned. Scuzz has been mentioned in passing, like in games previously.
Are you
But
worried about buckets? And they're like, why are we worried about a bucket?
Yeah, that was probably it.
John, did Vespia read about Scuzz at some point?
Oddly, no.
Okay, all right. Then she has no idea.
So
who this
none of
is.
us know who this is.
No,
Correct.
I would assume Ithram at least
open
shared a
book.
story about, because Ithram has training in sleight of hand, so like dexterity tricks that he has done, Scuzz taught him.
Yeah, like you may have been told about Scuzz from Ithram Vespia, but you didn't read about Scuzz.
I'm not
Yeah,
that
okay.
cool. I'm not that old.
this is our good friend and rogue and member of the Steelhearts, if anyone questions, Scuzz T. Buckets.
Yeah, I got it on the back of my coat, and he turns around and it still hurts. Like a Letterman's jacket. It's like on the back
Oh,
of the
nice.
jacket.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a. I didn't get one of those.
It's magic.
Titania, you actually recognize this coat. It's of the very similar. Actually, Titania, Gent, Ithram, and Valdeth. All you would recognize this coat. It's the same coat that Carrot, the sea goblin,
Yes.
lover of Kenna Van Rossum had. It's
Yeah.
the same style. It's not the same one, but it's the same
Right.
style
Mm-hmm.
that Carrot had.
Yeah, best friends because I am a honorary member of also the Kneecappers, but I am a steel hot at hot.
I'm sorry. Did you say kneecappers?
Yes.
Yes, it's another Griffin
Griffin
company
company.
that previously operated in Tehran.
That's
They're-
a
they're
great
fun.
coat.
Sounds
That's
so
a
cool.
great coat. I love it.
Thank you.
Hi, Annabella, Holly
Hi.
Mercantis, formerly of the Crossy. So I used to be her bodyguard, sort of.
You
Can I
have
call
no
you
idea what
Anna?
the Crossy is.
Or Bella. Or Annabelle. Or Lana.
I guess Bella is fine. I've never really
means
had anybody call me
pretty.
anything other than Annabella. So
It's because you're pretty.
thank you. I think.
You're welcome. Okay, so we have Grim, Bella, and two
Hello,
more
I'm
people.
Zara.
Zara, nice to meet you. I'm scared to make your name short for some reason. I
It's
feel
okay.
like if I try to make your name short, you'll be mad at me.
It is best that you do not try to shorten the name because you will have to do that many times with many different names. So
I've only had the one name.
Zara is a changeling who goes by many different names and many
well,
different
if you
forms.
want to spoil
Yeah,
the
that.
surprise,
I feel like it's going to be relevant because Scuzz will be very confused, like more confused
Yeah.
than Drummond already is.
and that's why it was going to be a surprise.
That's
I like
less helpful when
surprises.
that's less helpful when it's Scuzz involved. The surprises can end with things being set on fire.
I don't set things on fire in this dimension.
That sounds like fun.
I mean, I
I can turn into a ghost
did
now.
almost punch you several times.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at Will.
As Drummond accidentally takes on Zara's accent again.
It's I'm just
Very
I'm completely lost at this point.
I
I'm gonna be all
regret
over the place.
nothing.
You're doing great, Jeremy. I'm proud of you.
And Buckets, this is Vespia.
Vespia will give
Vespia.
away. She is still wrapped around Ithram.
Nice, like a snake, or like you're clinging to him, like it's your boyfriend, which
Both.
is also okay.
Little
Oh,
bit of
sweet.
both.
Both.
Nice, snake girlfriend. I love it. What's this? It's an art project. Picasso. Love it. Anyway, sorry. Okay, great. Are there any more people I need to be introduced to? I tell you right now, I only have the threshold to remember maybe one more name, and then it's all going out together. Yeah.
Fortunately, I
No,
think that's
I
everyone's
think
right
we're
now.
good.
There
Yeah.
is
Great.
somebody, and he pops Shakar out, and this is my new familiar,
What happened?
a lich that we still have to deal with.
That bitch. Sorry, a lich.
Fair, both.
Yes.
Well, it's funny, right? It was a good joke.
It was a great joke.
Thank you. Well, it's lovely to meet. Oh, nope, I already forgot the name. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
It's Nikki, also like I will try to remember everybody's names. I promise. I'm sorry if I forget.
I have a cheat sheet.
That's
I've
fine.
got all their names in front of me.
Everyone rolled perception, so I see their names on the roll 20 right now.
Yeah.
So that is how I will know. I have straps. Okay, what are we doing? I was brought over by a dragon. I assumed we were doing dragon shit, but you know me, I'm cool for anything.
Where did your dragon go, by the way?
I don't know, it wasn't mine. It just picked me up by the back of my neck, popped me on its back, and flew me over here.
Like with forewarning, or just sorted out of nowhere?
This would be the dragon that Ithram had prepared for you
Yes.
a year ago.
Yeah.
Right. I remember now. We've been hanging out. I've been teaching it tricks. Its name was Fluffy. I'm sad to see it go. But we had a lot of good times. Unless Ethereum summons him back again, and then we could play some more. But also, it's cool. I have another companion. I couldn't bring Scum with me because he couldn't fit on the dragon. But I have a scorpion now.
Oh.
Like a
That's
big scorpion.
What's the
Nice.
scorpion's name?
Fluffy Jr.
Good.
I think we need to get Skuz a few more pets and see how the naming schematic evolves.
Surprise! It doesn't evolve.
I figure probably not, but Gent believes in experimentation and record keeping.
not
You should also
scientific,
probably
guys.
introduce Fluffy Jr. to Grumman if you ever get a chance, because
Yes.
it might end up over a fire pit otherwise. Just saying.
I mean, Fluffy Jr. is big. She's big. Like I can ride her.
That doesn't stop him.
It was one time.
I love you, but I'm just saying.
I didn't know it was a riding boat.
Is this a lover's spat? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you guys get into a lover's quarrel.
No, wait, come out. No, that's not. No. Grumman likes to cook a lot. He's very good at it.
Okay.
I do.
My mom likes to cook.
What do you like to eat?
Everything.
What's your
don't tell him
favorite?
Butter.
But fantastic. All right. Well, I've got something for you, that's for sure. And what do you like to drink? Just so I know.
Also butter.
Melted butter.
That's all right. That'll warm you right up. Don't worry.
I hate this.
Skuz is a very buttery goblin in many senses. You'll find out.
It's how I get out of a lot of situations. Actually.
I get it, because you're slippery. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Most rogues, they're just really good at their jobs. Me, I'm just covered in butter.
Off to one
Really good at my
side.
job.
Off to one side, Avira goes, I thought I smelled something molding.
Yes.
Oh, actually, that's a common misconception. You don't really get mold on butter. It's more of a rancid transformation of the fat inside. So different sorts.
And yet, I still smell mold.
Well, I understand, but that's probably not the butter.
It might be the cheese.
Now that's a mold I can get behind.
Yeah.
But yes.
So
I think all of you will find they broke the mold when they made Skuz.
yep.
I can tell.
And they
That's
didn't know
why
how to
it's-
put it back together. They've been trying.
Is that why it smells?
Probably.
It's good to have you back, Skuz, but we really should figure out what we're doing next.
Well, overall.
Oh yeah, back to work.
The
I
plan.
climb
is-
into Ithram's backpack. I'm ready to go.
Overall, the plan is to find various god-killing weapons.
Oh, right.
strategies,
I should
etc.
I should do the thing first. 1 second. Valdeth puts her hands together and kind of breathes in and breathes out, and there's this rising wind that sort of forms around her and sort of picks up her hair a little bit as she casts augury.
Ooh.
What is your question that I get to be vague about?
Yeah, I know. Using whispers to calm me, I cast augury once per
You
long
can't dig
rest.
here with that.
And I ask, will we find the door we seek within the Titan skull?
Your response is a positive.
We get wheel. Yay.
So a wheel flies out of nowhere and hits you in the face.
But is it a wheel covered in eyes?
It's not an angel, no.
Jack.
The wind dies down as Valda's hair settles and she opens her eyes. We're probably going to find what we're looking for in the skull, yes.
In Dwarven, Grumman says, "What was that?"
That was one of Valdeth's divination abilities.
I've never seen you do that.
Also answered in Dwarven.
Yeah, but no, I Grummond wouldn't clock it. Craig 100% gets that Gent is the sort of person who will answer a question not aimed at him, just so he can show he understands a different language.
Yep.
But Valdeth will answer in Dwarven as well. Among the many things that I've learned over my long training and travels is to communicate with the spirits of the land and my ancestors and even the fallen if I need to.
It's very impressive. So we're off to the head then. That's in common.
Avera goes, if you need to use the restroom, it's that way. Points out to
No,
the left.
no. The dragon head. Or
Titan head.
Titan head. The head.
Oh, yes, that head.
That head.
What time of day is it?
It's getting towards dusk, but not quite there.
Okay.
Well, if you're looking to go in stealthily, darkness is likely your best candidate. Though not guaranteed, considering dragons. Sunshine's not anything about it.
How is Titania looking? Health-wise.
Health-wise,
Yeah.
I'm at 84 out of 90 on the sort
Oh,
of
okay. Okay.
that sort of scale.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember how healed we had gotten after the devil shot.
It got pretty healed up with Ithran's help.
Okay.
Yeah, we could head that way. I can assist with the going quietly.
All right.
If we want to head that direction.
Anyway.
Have you had any Ithram turns to his mother, and what has any news come from the scouts of what specific for like the numbers, where they're camped, how close, if they have patrols?
No specifics yet. We're expecting reports in the morning, if anything. What we know already is that the conflict has been joined and has been raging since the beginning of the week, several days ago. The forces seem to be evenly matched at the moment. There's no telling when one will gain the upper hand. We have been able to tell that there has been some division of forces. Each side is split amongst their two opponents, and not all of the ones who would call themselves Giant Kin are with the Giant forces. Some do stand with the Titan Kin. No dragons, though, have split sides, as it were.
Forgive me if this is not exactly a delicate question, but is there an outcome that would be better for you and your people?
If they all kill each other and do not pose a threat to desolation, that would be the best outcome.
Nope. All right. Mutual death on all sides then.
Anything less than that, hopefully they reduce whoever the survivors' numbers are low enough that they are not then still a threat to the rest of Desolation. We do not want our forces occupied fighting amongst ourselves or one of our former legions, should the Dark Elves decide to take Desolation for their own.
So these are not groups with which you have any sort of diplomatic ties or anything of the sort.
We did at one point, and then they threw their lot in with their masters. So,
well, I feel like that sort of makes things a bit simpler for us, then, doesn't it?
It would seem so.
Great. I'm a big fan of simple.
Also, about how far is it in terms of journeying from where we're at to the Titan's Skull?
2 days on foot will get you to the cliff above the skull. How you get down from there will determine how fast you go, but
We're fairly adept at navigating cliffs.
it is
We're very good at falling.
good. I hope you're good at catching as well. It is at the bottom of the cliff, embedded in stone and facing the ocean.
Right.
Well, if we have multiple days' journey ahead of us, and would you presume we are likely to encounter the trifold opposition before we arrive, or is it most likely?
We do not have a full lay of the land, but the legion's encampments are above sea level, so it's entirely possible you run afoul of either their guard posts, their watchtowers, or their encampments themselves, depending on how you travel and what you keep an eye out for.
I can I have some options that might help with that. I have the wind walk, so we can do that. I also have a very complicated spell that can help us like repel things away. That's a bit riskier because they can sort of like, when they're close, they're kind of gonna feel icky and like they want to get away from a thing, but farther away they might realize they've been affected. So it's a little bit more attention, but if we're getting close, that might be useful when we get close to where we know this gate is.
I like the sound of that. That's right clever, that is. Should we also obtain some sort of conveyance or a beasts of burden or something to travel on? I mean, even if we're going to walk it, we ought to have at least some provisions, eh?
Provisions might be wise if we're taking Titania's windwalk spell. Having mounts will be unnecessary.
Right. Is there a market or some sort, Ithram?
Yes, Beck.
I was gonna say we literally just came from there.
Yeah. Was there food and stuff too?
Yeah.
Oh no! You know what? Grumman was too caught up in his story. He was not paying attention.
That's fair.
Oh, the one downside to the Shaggy Dog jokes is you don't pay attention to where you are.
That's right. That's right. Right. Well, I don't know if the rest of you want to rest up or anything. I can nip off. Vespia, Scuzz, is that what you prefer to go by? Scuzz, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bucket, just whatever you.
No, you can call me Scuzz. Mr. Buckets is my dad.
All right. Well, fine. If obviously if anyone would like to come with me, but I'm not as familiar with the two of you and your tastes. If you'd like to come and point out anything that's of particular interest to you, I know we're gonna get some butter, so don't worry about that.
If it can fit into my mouth, and he like opens his mouth, and it's like a perfect 90-degree angle, I'll eat it.
Like as that happens, Grumman's like, oh, hold on, and reaches in and pulls
No,
out like,
Grumman-
a tailoring
No.
tape and is like measuring. It's like, all right,
Oh no. Oh dear.
no, you just don't worry. Just turning and sort of placating Sin, like, don't worry. It's just you want to have an idea of how large you want the hors d'oeuvres to be.
I like most anything, darling.
Well, well then I can nip off on my own, or if anyone wants to.
I am totally coming with you.
Fantastic.
Especially with Gus.
I appreciate it, dear.
Of course.
All right, I want to hang out with you guys and catch up, but we have new friends that I also want to hang out with.
Well, Skuz, maybe this will help settle your mind then. And
Yes, please.
Gent puts 2 coins in Skuz's hand. Go find yourself something good to eat. All right?
This will buy a lot of good things to eat. I'm excited.
You have 2 platinum.
Holy shit. Scuzz keeps forgetting that he's rich.
Well, he's not. Remember, he lost all his worldly goods except for magic weapons from the deck of many things. I don't know if Skuzz has any money currently.
There's money.
Oh, okay.
with the steel hearts.
Oh,
But
that's
I mean, Scuzz also is a goblet that grew up on Bucket Street. Like, oh, I forgot to make that joke. No, Buckets is the place I live.
I've had nights like that too, believe me.
Also,
So
be
Skuzz-
sure to read the descriptions of some of those magic items you have.
Nikki read all of them and is like, I get hurt so many people too. So Scuzz is going to slip his hand into oh my god, Grumman's hand.
Grumman,
Yeah, he's gonna grab your hand. He's gonna hold it. He's like, I'm ready.
Hey,
Annabella is going to get in between Skuzz and Grumman and take Skuzz's hand and Grumman's hand. And
That's why you have 2 hands.
yes.
all right, so we're temporarily standing in a little circle.
No, I'm sorry. No. She's taking Skuzz's hand in one hand and Grumman's hand in the other hand, and Grumman and Skuzz are no longer holding hands.
Oh, I see.
So, like, she took Grumman's hand from
separates.
Skuzz.
And Annabella inserts herself into the line.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Okay.
And also,
all right.
Scuzz can't hold your hand and make a circle because he's holding his precious money.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Couldn't you get in his fist?
Yeah. So
Let's
Grumman's
go.
intention is just to head and buy a. He'll. I will return the haul to its normal size. Grumman reaches into his belt and pulls basically like a foot-long horn-looking thing off of his belt, puts it down, says a word in Dwarvish, which if anyone speaks Dwarvish is imbiggen, and it grows to
Wumbo.
grows to about like an 8-foot long canoe looking thing. It is a basically a dragon's, I forget, is it a horn or a tooth, John?
Tooth or
Yeah,
horn.
it's
I mean,
really-
actually, I guess
I think
it's a horn. Yeah.
yeah.
Because
It's-
8 feet long. I don't know any dragons that have
Yeah.
teeth that long.
I know
Except
at least
maybe
one.
great worms.
Yeah, at least
And I was
one.
like,
And there's
ancient
one, but
dragons.
I don't think it's that particular dragon's tooth. Considering
Oh,
there's
there
two
aren't
dragons.
any more. And he pats the hull. No, it's a horn that's been hollowed out and made into kind of a wagon. And on the back, there's a bunch of stuff inside, mostly little chests and casks and kegs and things like that. And on the back, there's essentially a bumper sticker painted on in Dwarvish, and in Dwarvish it says "My wagon is dragon," but it's the word dragon. And he will say, "All right, well, let's load this thing up."
Nikki's having a moment.
I
So-
love it. I fucking love
The
it.
dwarven word for embiggen is Zvetsit.
That's it.
What's the dwarven word for wumbo?
Grumble.
Wumbo.
Jumbo.
It's the proper noun. It doesn't change.
Yeah. Wumbo is a proper noun.
And also the back of this wagon would say Movuj the Dragon or Movuj the Dragon.
Movu's the dragon. Just move the dragon. Move the dragon.
Mujvuz the Dragon.
Moose boosh.
Ujvuz dragon.
I like the idea that dwarven in this particular setting is
Isn't
French.
It's not
Like
French.
I was about to say, like, isn't that the song with Christina Aguilera, Missy Elliott?
It's. I mean, Grumman's definitely into. Grumman will probably make everybody some amuse bouche this evening. Don't make me redo Grumman's accent though. I'm having a hard enough time as it is.
No. The
I'm trying to find as little to say for Scuzz as I can because his accent hurts my body.
Well, that's the problem for me. Is like I figured I'd be okay with Scottish because Scottish is one of my like core accents where it's like anything nearby drifts to Scottish. So I was like, well, I'll just do Scottish. But apparently the two stronger draws for me are Russian and Jersey. And we've got people who speak both of those in this party now. So
Be happy I'm not doing Southern.
So
Just
no,
wait till you.
Southern
just
Southern
wait
is
till
the
you meet
Southern
one
is
of
the
the
accent of. Oh, good.
Just wait till you meet one of the personas of sins that you haven't yet.
oh
So,
god.
Southern is the accent of fiends, as we discovered when
Is
when Jen was being
Jeremy
hunted.
is Jeremy just going to be pulling out every accent that you have in your belt for this
All
character?
three of them, yes.
That's I'm saying. That's a accents that Jeremy has is a very generous statement.
If you can keep three
Jeremy's
accents
doing
going,
great.
I'm proud of you.
Jeremy's doing way better with like consistency on accents than I am. That's for sure. So
That's
props,
because-
Jeremy.
Because
That's
the accent
only
is
because I
inconsistent.
keep throwing you off. I can't keep Zara's accent consistent from moment to moment, much
That's-
less.
I think you're great. I
I'm
think
ready
you're
to
great.
go shopping.
All right, let's go. See?
Let's go. Don't trust the two of them together for a minute.
Watch them go off. I feel like the chaos factor of our group has gone much higher in the last few moments.
You're a
Oh,
very
you're
perceptive
100%
introvert.
correct. It's going to be
Yes.
glorious.
I'm not saying EC's a bad thing. I
You
am
guys
simply
also
saying.
notice on Scuzz's left hand, on his wrist, he has what essentially looks like a charm bracelet. There are 5 silver coins with a very distinct face on them. At GM discretion, if anybody wants to figure out what those are, you absolutely can. You might have to roll religion.
Yeah, be religion checks.
I was
Sure.
gonna say
Oh,
if they're weird looking
absolutely doing
coins, Gent is definitely wanting to see
I
if he can get it.
see
I
up.
have a natural 20.
Natural one.
No, whoops, shouldn't have been an advantage. But
I just
18.
have Shakar.
They're
Actually, Titania, because of your particular class at the moment, you would have advantage on the roll.
Oh, okay, good.
I just have
Oh,
Shakar
man.
fly up,
2.
and he's gonna start just shadowing from above. The
I was close.
tree.
Don't you trust us?
So for anybody with a
It's
15
because
or
I
higher,
know.
With
sorry,
a what or higher?
anyone with
15.
a 15 or higher,
Oh yeah, bare minimum.
these Nikki can explain what they are, but they look very similar to shrunken down soul coins, but with a different face, slightly different face. It's almost like it's the almost exactly the same design, but the face is different. And Nikki, you can explain what they are.
Jingles. Because I've revamped Scuzz. He's no longer using the archived revived rogue. He is now using the official subclass Phantom Rogue, and this is a soul coin or soul token or whatever. Essentially, these are you watch someone die and then sucked their soul into a token and put it on a charm bracelet, and he will use them for abilities. It'll be fun.
Very cool.
Rogue ability, it's cool.
Yeah,
Tokens of the departed, yeah.
Yeah, tokens of the departed.
Tokens
They're
of the
not.
Departed, thank you.
They are not the same as soul coins, but
Okay.
they are in a similar wheelhouse.
All right.
The soul trinket.
Soul
Drummond
trinket.
notices them. Oh, those are pretty.
Thank you. I watched someone die.
Yeah. I
My
didn't
well-
know you were publicizing that, but yes.
Well, I mean, that's my job, but also,
Oh,
two
oh,
of these were like special.
So you're in hospice care.
No, honey, she puts people in the ground.
I put people in the ground, and then sometimes I like speak to them after they die.
Interment is a fine, honorable profession as well.
I don't turn them inside out. That's really hard to do.
No.
When the bones are still in them,
What did I get myself into?
So,
food shipping. Speaking of turning things inside out, let's get ourselves some spatchcock chickens.
the food that you find in the marketplace is very rough. The Legion survives on very, very little, and so they have to make what they have go a long way. So mostly what you're finding are dried out meats, dried out vegetables, dried out fish, dried out fruit, and salt.
For use inside drying out.
Yes.
We can do this. Is there any dairy, or barring that, any dairy producing herd animals?
They do have goats.
Okay.
So yes.
I'll get as much
goat's milk and
as
goat cheese.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there goat butter?
There can be goat butter, yes.
Great. Okay.
There is as much
Bless you.
Goat cheese and goat milk seems to be the only thing they have in ready supply.
That's fine. I like this, not even in character. I legitimately, Craig, I love goat cheese and I like goat milk.
Facts.
All right, cool. Yeah,
I will
there.
While you're looking, there is one like sort of specialty vendor off to a side. This is actually one of the what you learned earlier was a Tarasker. Sort of this very large carapace hide individual. Their skin itself is this armored red carapace. They're sort of sitting there keeping an eye on a particular stall. It doesn't seem like they own it, but it does seem like they're manning it.
Okay.
And they're sort of standing there looking sullenly at several what are wrapped packages of things.
You may have answered my question in advance, but Grumman is certainly looking for things that he has not tried before. Would this be a good stand to check out for those?
Seems like you're not sure what it is.
All right, let me go take a look. Hello there, my friend. What is it you have here today? Grumman's in full on like farmer's market mode.
Like looks at it. Gestures at it, sort of like sullenly.
Oh, so that's all I get. We've got
basically.
All right.
Do you want to inspect it?
Yeah. Well, first off, how old? Can I judge Tarasker ages?
Make a nature check with disadvantage.
Cool. Not gonna go terribly. Wait.
13.
Yeah, not terrible.
It's hard to tell because his face looks roughly the equivalent of a mountainside crag. But based on body language, he seems to be a bit younger, maybe a little bit more on the like late teens, early 20s. Impressive that he already looks like a mountain at that age, but
is this, given that I come from a large family, is this like I'm manning my parents' stall look?
Kind of, yeah.
All right. Grumman sort of lean forward and look at the Tarasker and go, I know that look. I tell you, I used to have to go out and sell things right out on the dock for sailors coming in. It used to drive me crazy. How long they had you out here, lad?
Oh, I've out here manning the stall since the moot began.
Ooh, that's rough. Listen. What? Tell me a little bit about what you got. Is this the kind of thing that you're into, or what are you thinking about when you're out here? Because I'll tell you, when I was out there, I used to be thinking about what I was going to have for dinner. That's what would keep me going.
Dinner. Mostly thinking about how I don't like crowds.
You don't like crowds? Is that what he said?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I get that 100%. And there's just so many people around here. Listen,
This
I
guy
tell you
sneak
what.
attacks him in the back.
No. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to click on it.
Oh God.
I also rolled apparently really shitty. I'm sorry.
I know. I get surrounded by crowds and I feel like I'm hearing wails from the grave, I tell you.
Because it's just puttering around or whatever, and he actually kicks a pot over, and he's like, "I'm sorry," and then suddenly just shrieks of dying. And he's just like, and he puts his hands in his pockets.
Good scuzz. Day.
I tell you what I used to like when there would be too many people around. I used to just kind of try to focus in on one thing. Like if there was something in front of me that I'd be interested in, or maybe something I'd done the week before that was of interest to me. You ever try that? Let your mind just sort of drift back to something that's more interesting than selling whatever this is.
Sometimes, yeah.
Can I at this point try to get an idea of what it is that he's selling? Is that an investigation?
Yeah. Either investigation or nature.
Okay. They're equally bad. 14.
14. So look at it. It's hard to identify specifically. It seems like some sort of meat that keeps very well. The odd thing about it is that it's blue. It's just some sort of they look to be sort of stacked up slabs almost like steak portions of blue meat with some additional blue and slightly yellow tint, sort of yellow highlight scales on one side.
Okay.
You'd say it'd be like some sort of weird blue fish meat, except it's much bigger than that.
Okay.
Can I get a roll for that, John?
Sure. You give me a nature check.
17. I just want to make sure it's actually edible by us.
So you're looking at it. It's hard to tell what it is. It doesn't. You would imagine it being sold for food, so it must be edible by someone.
Right.
You're not 100% certain what it is, though. You've never really seen blue meat like that before. At least not blue meat that you would consider food worthy.
Drummond?
Hey.
We should probably be careful about buying that. It's not. I mean, I can't say it's not, but I don't know that it's going to be okay for everyone. I'm sure Itham can definitely eat it, considering his people are selling it. The rest of us might not be able to.
Well, we'll get just a little bit then, and then
that's a good idea.
More of other things. What do you call this then, my lad?
I'm trying to get the creature type. Oh, right. Looks over at it and sort of indicates to the sack. This is behir meat.
Ooh. Can I see if Grumman knows what those are?
Yeah,
it's another
nature check,
I guess.
Nature check, yep.
Yeah, because the player knows that, but
no, I got it 0.
Annabella does not know.
No idea.
Neither of us knows what that is.
Neither of you know.
Yeah,
what
honey,
I
don't know what that is.
Wait.
We can buy it, but I'm telling you, we need to be very careful about it. Because maybe we should ask Itham.
Absolutely. Listen, what's your name there, lad?
Robon.
Robon, do you like to eat this, the behir?
It tastes good, yeah.
How do you cook it when you make it? Or how do you like to have it cooked if you're not, the one doing the cooking?
Don't cook it, but it's a real tough steak. Cook it over the fire. Turns a darker blue.
All right. So thin slices, sort of thing. Sear it both sides. Maybe cook it off in a bit. All right. So I've got some ideas. I appreciate it. Let's take.
You just gotta watch for the sparks.
Oh, sparks come from it itself, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll won't use my best cookware then, eh?
He shrugs.
Good. Here. All right.
I mean, this child don't know nothing about that.
Let's take I don't know, a couple pounds of it, I guess.
Yeah, so a couple pounds of behir meat will cost you about 5 silver.
Okay. Grumman will plunk that down.
It's definitely the most expensive meat that you've purchased on the thing.
Okay, and so he will plunk that down, and we'll also put a little piece of soft candy wrapped in wax paper. So I appreciate your conversation. Let me hold on. I'm gonna roll insight to see if I notice Scuzz.
You noticed Scuzz. He's
all right. Grumman will reach into a pouch and pull out another one and hand it to Scuzz. The one that Scuzz gets is what is the most predominant color in Scuzz's outfit?
blue.
Okay, so the one
blue and red, really. Yeah.
Blue and red.
And the one that Scuzz gets is blue. The one that this guy gets is like sort of a pale white with red lines through it. He says, hey, just, when you're thinking about things away from right here, there's a little something from back home, a little taste of the ocean from the town of Swiggle. If you ever find yourself there, stop by for a visit. It's saltwater town.
I look at it. He's sort of inspecting it. He doesn't look like he's not going to eat it, but he looks like he really wants to know what it is first.
It's have you ever had candy, lad?
It looks like he's trying to place what that word means.
It's sweet.
Sugar.
Like sugar.
No sugar doesn't. Sugar makes water bad.
Oh, right, but on its own, try it. Try a taste. I've got a few more if you'd like them. You can give them to your friends.
Looks at it, unwraps it, throws it into his mouth. Looks like he has difficulty chewing it at first. You realize that he doesn't really have teeth so much, and you now you're sort of looking at him. Tarrasquers don't really have teeth so much as their mouth forms a jagged maw.
Yeah. But I mean, it's saltwater taffy, so nobody has an easy time chewing it.
Yeah, so it's not. He doesn't have like the dexterity that somebody with like internal teeth would have. But sort of chews on it a little bit, gets it, looks like he gets it stuck, and then gets it unstuck with his tongue. And you sort of watch as these like what have been very tired red eyes just sort of you watch the pupils narrow. As you have given an 18-year-old Tarrasquer his first hit of concentrated sugar.
I got 26 on that insight check. How's he doing?
The sugar rush has begun.
Excellent. Sugar slam. I will reach in the pocket and pull out another handful and just sort of leave him and says, well, was it Rodan? Was that his name?
Roban.
Roban. Well,
I'm gonna grab his hand before he gives him any more of that because I don't know what's happening, and I roll badly on my insight. You're trying to poison this child?
No, just trying to make his day a little better. You know better than any of us, Annabella, what it's like to be sitting there fulfilling family responsibilities when you'd rather be off doing something else. Just want to give him just something to make his day nicer.
That's a really good point. Okay.
Strawberries to a turtle.
What was the sleight of hand, Scuzz?
Scuzz is taking some more candy.
Oh no, I'm totally rolling for that.
Scuzz knows where the pocket is now.
No, this is
Wow, Your
Nope.
perception's really good.
This
Definitely
this isn't strawberries to a turtle. This is sugar bombs to a dragon turtle. Just like
You definitely see. You see
When
the
Scuzz
goblin
reaches
hand.
back in and tries to get more candy, I'm gonna smack his hand away. You ask like an educated person, Scuzz.
I have another. Please.
Grumman grins and puts down the handful on the table and says to Roban, "Here, enjoy, share them if you like." And we'll turn to Scuzz and smile and say, "Of course, you get these by the bucketful back home. Here, have the rest of the bag." And takes the pouch out of his pocket. He's wearing, by the way, essentially like coveralls over a sleeveless tee. But with big suspenders, like sort of baggy, almost like cargo pants. And just pulls out a bag of these saltwater tappies and holds them out to Scuzz.
Good.
I didn't.
Great.
What?
Whatever you just said, Nikki did not come over the mic.
Yeah.
Still not.
That's okay. Roll perception again. I dare you.
Unfortunately, Annabella and Scuzz have the same modifiers.
We do. No, you definitely see Scuzz. Scuzz has a moment where he goes, "I found something yummy." And you watch as he tries to slip the platinum piece into Grumman's pocket where the candy was.
I'm gonna take the platinum piece and hand it back to him.
Grumman doesn't
doesn't
see any
want
of this.
your
I'm
money.
so confused.
I got an
He
8.
doesn't want your money.
But how
Just
do
take the candy. Just take the candy. Grumman likes to help people. I don't know how much more of that stuff he has, but
Oh, that's all of it. But I've gotten all sorts of other things. He's packing up
that's a lot.
the behir meat into the hall.
I'm also going to have Scuzz roll just something real quick. Don't mind
We-
me.
we really should have Ithram.
Can I have
we should really
change?
Change
Sorry?
from what, honey?
The platinum piece is a lot of money, and I don't want to assume anything rude about the people here, but I don't think they would have the means to break a platinum piece. Does
Oh,
that sound really mean? That sounds mean. But also, I don't want to burden them with the responsibility of a platinum piece.
Oh no, I already paid for it. It's all right.
Oh, no. I'm going to go get some fruit because I want fruit with the steak.
Oh yeah, of course. Here, I will change out the platinum piece. I'll give you 10 gold. Is that?
Yeah,
I'll get-
one platinum piece is 10 gold pieces.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you 8 gold and
20 silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scuzz is going to go buy some fruit. Scuzz is
Alright.
going to buy some fruit.
Yeah, you can get a good handful of fruit. And by the way, everything else that
Just
you bought, Craig,
drops-
you can
drops the
determine an
silver
amount
pieces.
of copper that you would have spent on food.
Okay.
Amount of gold, because you can get pretty good amounts of things.
Okay.
Yes, because for a bunch of fruit, you can get a bunch of fruit for a dried fruit for you could get a day's worth of actually a week's worth of dried fruit for a silver.
Slaps that silver down.
Yeah.
Takes the crate. Brings it to the horn. Once again, this fun nugget. This is not for again. You can absolutely. Why do I keep rolling a 10? Why does it keep rolling a 10? Why? Why?
Perfectly average.
Something to be said for consistency.
Do you have it?
what do you?
I'm rolling through the.
You beat me once.
I beat you. You just don't see Scuzz slide
Oh.
another silver piece into the shopkeeper's pocket.
It's not your keep rolling a 10. It's you have reliable talent. So you actually rolled an 8 on that last one.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
it
see.
turned it into a 10.
I've just been rolling really bad. And D&D Beyond is like, nah, bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been 7, 8, 9.
You have minimum 10. Yeah.
Yes, I know. It doesn't show it unless I scroll over it and like read it.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I was like, why am I only getting a 10?
It's really funny.
When you're gay and can't do math.
Rogues.
Just good at shit. Don't worry about it. You're doing great, Speedy. Yes, Cuz just slips a gold piece into the cart.
Meanwhile,
sneaky altruism.
Meanwhile, while they're off shopping, the rest of you are still over by Aviro.
Yes.
Yep.
What you doing?
I had one more question, Mother.
Yes.
At least. I don't know if I told you of this a while last year. I've done a bit of research, but not too much. I believe this may actually be tied to the trials of Coulter. Do you know of anything that may be relevant concerning that?
You're gonna have to refresh my memory from what you learned about that.
Not much. Just that there was a weapon wielded by an ancient mage king.
Oh,
That was literally the only clue that he was able to piece together from the dream vision he had.
right. The trials of Coulter many and varied, depending on what it is that he seeks for a champion to do. It's possible that the weapon you're looking for is part of the set of a champion. In that case, you would have to overcome them for it, or you would have to perform a deed as great as theirs to become the role of champion. Coulter's champions are powerful fighters, warriors all, but they temper their strength with wisdom and intelligence. So, perhaps you must puzzle your way to the solution, or you must overcome it with brute force or some combination of the two.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any looks around?
Just the level of insight that you might have. Have you, odds are good that you haven't, but in case no stone unturned, have you heard of the mortal blade of the ancient smith Nyedizin?
She thinks for a second. She reaches over towards her staff and pulls that blade that was embedded in the stone out.
This old thing?
Flips it around and holds the staff along her arm so that the glaive head is towards you. Look at my blade.
I'll inspect the weapon then.
You see that there's a maker's mark on it.
Is it the mark of Nyedizin?
It is.
So he did craft his weapons around here.
Crafted his weapons in many places. They ended up in many places, I should say. For the homeland of Nyedizin was the Shattered Lands before they were torn.
There's legend told of an ancient blade that was made to kill the immortal, and specifically, supposedly, was made to kill a Tarask. And so, with the population of Taraskers around here, I was curious if any of that history might have survived.
Not amongst the people, no. But amongst the sages, she says, indicating herself as she puts the blade back into the crack that she made earlier. Yes. It is not agreed upon what shattered the land. Some, she says, indicating towards the coast where you can see some Titan bones poking up. Some believe the fall of the Titan. Others believe a Tarask rampage. Still others, calamities of the gods. Yet more, magic run wild. Depending on who you ask, it depends on who you get, what you get. The fact remains the lands where Nyedizin called home was broken into pieces, scattered amongst the waters. But you'll notice its location centralized near to two continents. Bits and pieces of his legacy end up in both places. If you're looking for a blade meant to fell on a mortal being, I would look for a dead immortal being in this case. There are no Turask bones in Desolation, I can tell you that much. We have scoured the land, and while it still has secrets, none so large as that.
The only place where we've seen a beast that might be a Tarask is in Uskorva, in the Hive of Ruin.
A place we should probably not go again anytime
Well,
soon.
If you're looking for something to kill a Tarask, I would look where you find the dead Tarask. Which may mean if you wish that blade, you'll have to delve back into a place you don't wish to go.
Unsurprising, but worth noting. Certainly haven't seen anything similar anywhere else.
Tasks that we do not wish to do, places that we do not wish to go, enemies that we do not wish to face. This is the world in which we live. She gestures towards the southern sky. There are fiends in your capital of Tiram that have changed it into a city of fiends, and they seek to remake the world around them in their own image. They seek to turn Gran Terra into a plane of fiends. We must face them, whether or not we like to, whether or not we want to. This is the challenge Gaultier has laid before us, and we will face it. What you need to do so is up to you. But there is no place you should not go if you think it will give you an advantage.
Even beyond the demon god himself, having that weapon might be of keen use against his legions of demons. As I take on the accent again, fucking. As I
It's
become
like a
Ingvar
black
for a minute.
hole. It's like a black hole.
Another
Yeah.
question that someone of your talents would probably be better equipped to answer. For this next stage that we are embarking on, we will likely need to somehow get our entire group into the ethereal plane. I know that there are certain spells that some of us have that might get one or a few of us in there. Do you have any less taxing means? Or any ideas on that?
The ethereal plane is not the one that is easy to step into or step through. It is overlaid on the material. It is our ghostly twin sister, as it were.
Yes, I know.
Ghosts, the dead, dying, these are ways to go there. If you're looking for a place that is there, I would look for gateways that have been set. For something so large as a location to be fully shifted from ours into another, someplace where you would need to take many people, there must be ways to do so. You would not have to go if you could not get there. This I believe. If you run
Thank
out
you.
of ideas, though, look in places where dead walk freely. There are always cracks to the planes there.
Excellent. Perfect.
And to any of the rest of you seek the wisdom of an old woman, or may I return to my tribe, or to my legion.
I
We
am
walk
good.
with.
Sin.
No,
I am good.
Hmm?
I am good.
Looks over at Ithram. You do not need to walk with me, son. Stay with your friends. Make your plans. It sounds like you have much decision making ahead of you.
yes.
She reaches
Bit to
over.
talk about.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, that was it. Yeah.
She reaches over, grabs the staff once again, breaks it out of the stone, just leaving that imprint there, presumably for whoever takes care of the ruins to fix, because it's not her problem. Begins to walk away.
Thanks. Your elemental is very cool.
See, this is where Ithram learned I don't need to clean it up.
She looks back over, raises the torch staff towards Titania, the little magma fox trotting after. You watch the magma fox is actually like melting footprints in the ground as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
More things for the keepers to fix.
We have our plan, correct?
I think we'd probably be best to scout out the area, if nothing else.
Well, they have scouts returning in the morning. We can, I'm sure we can be privy to that information that they bring back. Once they come back.
So rest here for the evening, see what the scouts have learned, make our way out there.
And I believe the wind walk would be the best option to approach. If we stay low, we may be mistaken for dust, because as you've seen before, he gestures towards the sky. Not very many clouds.
Will we be able to travel the whole distance there?
Where are
2
we
days
now?
is what, like 50, 60 miles?
You are currently here. Hang on, wait, let me put on the right thing. Let me do it on the right screen, where I can actually ping you and move you, rather than on the other one where I can't.
No flipping, no snapping. There we go.
You are currently right here. The Titan's head is up here.
Yeah, we can make that one a wind walk. If I recall correctly, we can go previously on this map, we can go 2 squares over the course of a day in a wind walk.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 squares over the course of a full day. You'll get there. And that distance, it'd be 2 days walking, but with wind walk, you'd get there in a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah, if we want me to use it's called antipathy. I need to prepare that ahead of time. It's not a quick spell.
What is that? What's that able to do?
Repel
It-
things.
I can use it to draw or repel a lot of things to me, or away from. Mechanically, it's an hour casting time, which is why I need to do it ahead of time.
Right.
Over over a 60-foot square, I can, here, let me just drop this in.
Anything that comes within 60 feet of you that is of a specified kind of intelligent creature, such as red dragons, goblins, or vampires.
Yep. Would I be able to target both the dragons and the Titankin?
I think it only picks
It
one.
does say a kind.
Yeah, one kind.
Okay.
You would have to cast it twice, but it doesn't have concentration. It just lasts 10 days. So you could, I think, just cast it twice on 2 different people in the party.
I can cast it once today and once tomorrow.
It's so mean if you did it on goblins. Guys would be like, "Oh, come on!"
No, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, so
you
I
guys
can do
cast
antipathy
sympathy for
or-
goblins, and then
or
goblins would always want to be near
sympathy.
you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know, like the because I think I believe the rules are you can only have one instance of an individual spell active on a single person at once. So you'd have to cast it on 2 different people.
To
Mhm.
be clear about these, we are using it for which creatures potentially?
Potentially dragons and the Titankin.
And are any of those creatures immune to being frightened? Because then otherwise we are just wasting a spell slot.
Make an nature check.
Okay.
Unless I'm
Can I do that as
misunderstanding the
well?
spell.
No, yeah, it frightens them.
That's all
If
it does
if
is
it's
it
antipathy.
frightens them.
16.
Historically, dragons are very hard to frighten.
Yeah.
Nat
Uh,
20, 21.
Not immune to it though, I don't think.
But it depends. There are certain dragons that are immune to being frightened. Not all, but
If a Zerth is there,
actually, yeah, no.
can-
Most like I'm just looking through right here. Amethyst dragons are immune to being frightened.
Okay.
Black
They're also
dragons are
psychic
not.
dragons, aren't they?
Yeah. So certain types of dragons are immune to being frightened. Not all dragons are immune to being frightened.
Right.
Yeah, the psychic kinds are typically immune to being frightened, but
Titans. You don't know, Titania, about Titans. Sin. You have a passing familiarity with Titans as a concept. Titans are more structurally similar to constructs than they are to giants, to a certain degree.
Okay.
Which means you're not certain, but you would assume they'd be immune to being frightened.
They'd be immune to being frightened. Yeah.
Yeah.
so just the dragons then probably.
There are also giants there who are distinctly different from Titans.
Right, and they would they would likely be susceptible, assuming saves.
Giants are less often. Yeah, giants are less
Yes.
often immune to fear than even dragons are.
Titans will be unlikely to be affected by anything flight based.
Other thing is this would affect Ethereum, but we know these are allies of Hobgoblin, the legions. Like we did that.
The legions are the legions are more than just hobgoblins.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes.
That's right. I forgot. Okay.
I mean, I appreciate the idea of taking these sorts of precautions, but
yeah, and
I do
just,
think. Go ahead.
Just so you're all aware, culturally, like the Duskreach Legion is the only legion you've seen so far that has been predominantly hobgoblin. The rest of them have large portions of hobgoblins, but they're not only hobgoblins. Basically there is nothing that isn't a hobgoblin in the Duskreach Legion, and they're the only legion you've seen that's that monolithic.
I do think, to be honest, we are perhaps overthinking these a bit. We windwalk. We have protections as when we are windwalking, and I don't think we need to layer on a bunch of other spells when we may well need that magical capability once we arrive at.
I would say if you can do it tonight before we rest and regain our magical potential, a ward against dragons or giants would probably be most helpful.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
I would argue you'd probably get more general use out of the ward against giants, but the ward against dragons, while it might be less effective in general, would probably sway a lot more when it is effective.
Giants will be far less likely to be able to harm us in
Question.
a wind form.
Just to be on the safe side, is it likely, Ithram, that there are any beings who qualify as dragons or giants in this camp currently that we might stumble across on our way out and cause a problem?
Giant? I don't think so.
There are Goliath. There are Goliaths, but those are not.
Those are humanoids.
Mechanically,
not
not giants. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's not any half dragons that I'm aware of.
No, they would all be
As
in
far as I
the any half dragons would be in the scale bearers. So
Yeah. Is it scale bearers or dragon scale?
oh, sorry, dragon scale legion.
I was going to say, Scale Bearers was a griff type company, weren't they?
Yeah. It was a different kind of scale. It was like the
Yeah.
Lyrithia followers.
No, those are all in the dragon scale legion.
All right. Just wanted to ensure we don't accidentally cause a riot.
That was appreciated.
And Titania, this repulsion spell targets one of us?
Yes.
Who do we
So-
think would be our best candidate, everyone?
I do think we are overthinking this, and we should not overlay or protective spells. We will need those. We will need that ability.
That's
once-
why I was
True,
only
but
that's
this
why I was only
one-
suggesting the one before we rest and get it back.
Right. This one, it lasts for 10 days, you said, right?
Yes.
Really well.
So if we do it before resting, then we will still be it.
Yeah.
Because you are quite right. I believe that having budgeting our resources before we run into a three-way battle over the skull of an ancient magical being.
Mhm.
Especially in our current situation
Oh,
where we don't
that.
have a lot of time to be able to. Oh, I've been here. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
You guys, I'm
You
not
guys
there.
are
I'm not
shopping.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay, sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, we're definitely not
I-
there.
That's my bad. I forgot we were away.
No
My bad.
worries.
no worries.
It's been long enough that I'll say at this point in time, you do see the wagon approaching.
Okay.
Mhm.
But who would be our best candidate for that, do you think?
Somebody who will stick with the group and not go out to scout or go out on their own or
Points at
Like-
Valdeth.
Ithram or Valdez.
I'll do it on Ithram.
Yeah, so Ithram or Valdeth will be protected while the rest of the party splits away.
Well, as long as
No,
we're within 6
if you
feet.
attract attention from a giant, just run for
Mhm.
Ithram.
And pray that giant just fails.
Fails
what
their
might
wisdom
be a
save.
fairly easy wisdom save.
Yeah, we don't know. I don't know what Titania's.
To break
I'm not
that,
worried about the DC. I'm worried about the bonus to the roll.
Oh well, yeah.
yeah, to break that down, giants are more likely to fail that roll, and there'll probably be more of them.
Yeah.
But any individual dragon will be more of a threat than several giants. So if they do fail that roll, that'll be bigger than any individual giant failing.
I think
So it's sort of a quantity versus quality scale of giants versus dragons.
Individual giant failing is my one man. They might be giants cover band.
Fair enough. Valid. Very valid.
I think giantkin would be more. That's just me.
Okay. I'll get started.
All right.
I start casting this very complicated thing. 8th level spells. Woo.
Hey.
Takes an hour to cast.
Yeah.
You
Hold
just stand
still.
here in the middle of the forum,
Yes.
casting a spell.
Well, we should. Where are we staying? Before we-
In
Good call.
back at the Legion's camp.
Okay.
We have a tent set aside for us.
Okay.
What, you don't want to use your
Well,
magical
offer.
dimension?
We'll use that in the tent.
Ah.
Hmm.
So, Skuz, Drummond, Annabella return with a hall full of stuff.
I did want to ask, just any phoenixes or phoenix feathers
No.
out of curiosity? Okay. Just because I would be
Something
mad at
something
myself.
Final Fantasy reference.
Yep.
No, there is no Phoenix down available. And also, now, if you do ask about it, you learn very quickly that Phoenixes are. You've probably learned this in a couple different places. Phoenixes are very rare.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, I just this
yeah.
is a weird place, so I figured it would be worth
Definitely
asking.
not. No, there, as far as anyone can tell, there have been no Phoenixes in here as far as living memory, in Desolation, as far as living memory is concerned.
Okay.
But you return back to you head back to the Duskreach camp. There's a conga line of adventurers heading into what was set aside for a small, fairly large, but not large enough that it would be comfortable, tent that you all pile into.
And jangle around with the keys for a second. Hold on, this is it right here. Pull it out, jab it into thin air, turn, door opens.
All right,
This is
Nikki just remembered something. Because it's
What?
like, oh, I can do that too. He pulls out a knife.
What do you have there? A knife.
Guys,
No!
He pulls out a knife, and he's holding the bag of candy, and he jabs the knife into the air, and he twists it to the right, and the candy disappears. Yeah.
Wait,
Nice.
what?
I put my candy in my hidey hole.
I'm just proud of Scuzz. The candy isn't all eaten.
I gotta see.
Okay. So you stab things and send them to your hidey hole?
Well, I stab the air, and then I turn the knife, and whatever I'm holding will go to the hidey hole. If I stab people, they just die.
That's
And then
good to
sometimes I
know.
can talk to them.
I mean,
Yep.
to be fair, the first night that I met you, we did all spend the night in my tuber. So, it's not that strange.
Oh no, I really wish you would rephrase that. The other space
I can also use this to
is
open a
not
door.
weird. It's the
Or a
fact that she
chest.
uses a knife, or the fact that he uses a knife to do that.
I can't put a lot of things in the hidey hole. They have to be small.
I like that Scuzz says, I can use this to open a door, as if you can't use normal weapons to open a door.
Well, but like because he's not explaining it, because this is a
No,
knife
he's
that can use with his thieves tools. Like it can act as a thieves tool, which is fun. It also has a magic thing. Anyway, but yeah, he's like, I can use it to open a door or a chest or anything with a lock.
That's great.
I'm helpful.
Oh, I can
I
tell.
very
can
much
tell.
I look forward
Mhm.
to working with you.
We're just like we get.
Meanwhile,
Great Scuzz.
like half the party is going, thank God, finally, somebody that can disarm traps.
Yeah, I mean,
Unlock
not
that
even
one.
kidding. Valis, like, finally, we have our trap springer again.
I don't know what you're talking about. We've been able to disarm
Trap
traps
Springer?
this whole time, just
Just
not
throw
without wounds.
I
What
would
do
be trap
you think?
springer.
What do you think the T stands for?
Scuzzimal trap springer buckets.
No, it's Scuzzimal Tick Tick Boom Buckets. Thank you very much. It's my mom's maiden name.
I've heard it both ways.
I mean, Tick Tick Boom is also an onomatopoeia for trap springing.
Yes, exactly.
Something 3090.
So you all enter into the invisible door in the middle of the sky.
Yeah, it's a doorway in the sky. Sorry, everybody.
Into this is the Archivist Key, right?
Correct.
So yeah, so you once again find yourselves inside a several stories high tower that was obviously not here moments ago, carved of marble and gold, with a large ornate magic circle in the middle of it, and a variety of blue ghostly figures maneuvering around.
And any research we wish to continue, the library changes, so we may be able to find new and helpful books.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you just want to read, there's plenty. There's a large section over there of non-fiction or of fiction.
This is
I'm
different than the last place, right? Or this
No,
is
this
the
is the same place, yeah, that
Okay.
most of you have been into. Scuzz hasn't been here before, but
I'll give Scuzz the short story of how we found this key and what it does, and how he's basically lived in this thing for the last year.
found the key in a ruin. It opens a door in space. It's a library with lots of books that change from place to place.
I checked. There's no curse, so we're good.
Great. This seems like something that is absolutely up your purview, Ethereum. Did you have fun just exploring the library?
Exploring the library, yes.
Exploring the
Exploring the
ruins that we
ruins
found it
that-
in, not so much.
Yes, that bit not so much.
Ah, that's fair.
Yeah, that was we found a curse there.
Curses are easy to find if you're not looking for them.
Yes.
Anyway, where's my room?
Up and that way, and I give you directions.
Thank you.
And there's definitely at least one scum plushie in there.
First of all,
Ooh.
Scuzz,
Oh, wait.
he says up. There are no stairs.
You have to fart. I'm kidding, you don't have to
Oh,
fart.
no.
You just have to.
You wouldn't.
Dear God.
Hold on,
What
hold
the
on.
fuck is wrong with you?
Hold on. No.
The dangers of not having prestidigitation.
Why would you do this?
Because it's been a long time and since I've seen my friend.
That was my fart check. John. Where's Scuzz?
A sound and a smell comes out of Scuzz. It's not a fart.
This is fine. Everything's great, everybody. Welcome, our
Scuzz knows
intrepid
prestidigitation, if I remember correctly.
He does. He does know prestidigitation, and it doesn't hurt him every time he does it now.
Gent walks to the
That's
middle of the
right,
magic
I
circle
forgot
and
about
just
that.
rises.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does Zara.
They do that because as he cleans himself up like a good boy.
Apologize profusely.
Man,
And
them butter shits, they'll get you every time.
Why are you apologizing? You didn't.
Because I didn't catch myself quick enough. And then
Neither did I. I'm glad I could hurt John this way.
As he's rising, Gent just sort of looks down at Vespia and just gives a slightly open-handed gesture like, "You're intended, ma'am."
She'll give him a wink.
I would just like to say that I have a dog under my desk who is doing his very best to give me a 4D experience.
Yep, there you go.
I think we killed Sean.
I come back for one session and already I've killed John. It's a talent.
Magnificent.
That's a pretty impressive skill.
Thank you.
Oh, I've missed Scuzz.
Ithram will also float up to a library.
Yeah, I'm already gone.
How are you doing this?
You just have to
You have
think
just
about
have to-
it when you're standing in the circles, cuz it's not very
Thank you.
difficult.
Thank you.
It helps if you think.
felt
Ithram, you just learned your lesson.
That's out of character.
The singing
Jesus.
isn't necessary.
I mean, you said it in accent.
I did.
Black hole.
I'm far enough away.
Which
Gent
one of
would-
which? Hang on, stop. Which one of you heathens said butter shits?
That was me.
Inspiration.
Thank you.
Scuzz like this. I'm gonna take Scuzz's hand and let's go up together.
Yay.
You notice, by the way, that Titania, the mushrooms that have been growing in Titania, they're gone now.
Where'd your mushrooms go?
Oh, stuff happened and I lost like a bit of my soul, sort of.
Oh no. Can we
Or,
get it back?
Like the magic from like my family. It's
Is-
okay.
Is your family
I've
gone?
been, yeah, I've been studying. That's what I've been doing. Here,
I'm
you have to get off
sorry.
here. Hop
Okay.
sideways out of the circle.
Well, I don't know if this will help, but maybe it'll make you feel better. And Scuzz pulls out his backpack. No, he pulls out. No, it can't be a magical item. Damn it, never mind. Yeah, he pulls that out of his backpack. He pulls out a plate.
Yes.
And he
Right,
hands
The
it to
plate
you.
returns.
I vaguely remember the plate. What does this do again?
It has a cloche on it now.
It has, but the plate was from when we visited your grandfather.
Oh yeah. I open it.
There's nothing in it.
Roll.
Right now.
No,
Well,
there's
no,
nothing.
you have to.
Oh,
You have to.
okay.
Yeah, you just do a thing before it does anything.
Okay.
You try to pull it off, and he's like, "Yeah, you have to say, give me a puff pastry, please."
Puff pastry, please.
I won't always listen to you, but like,
Roll a d12.
Yeah. Okay.
yes, This will be fun.
Roll it. 7.
So, in the middle of the hallway where you're standing, a great feast, as if cast by the hero's feast spell, pours out from underneath the cloche. You're meant to use it when it's on a table. So instead, it just falls onto the floor.
Oh! I can catch most of it. Hey, Grumman, I don't think we need to make food.
Just plates and plates and plates of things just hit the ground, and there's a great feast scattered all over the floor.
The funny thing is, we've already had dinner today.
yeah. Well, it's not one. Not it's because just plops on the floor. Just
I say, like, Valdeth would very much, after arriving up there, that's impressive.
It's Titania's grandfather's plate. Oh.
Shall we get this, like, put onto a table so that people can share it?
Yes.
Yes.
Unseen servants.
The blue ethereal figures come and begin picking things up and shuttling them down to the dining hall.
Sorry, usually it makes like one puff pastry for me. I've
Oh.
never seen it make that.
Well, we've got a feast.
Roll a
We have a
d12.
hero's feast.
Another D12.
Roll another d12.
Okay. 6.
It cannot make another. It cannot be used again in this way for 6 days.
You wanna keep it because it's from your family to remember them.
Somewhere from down the hall, Gent's voice just kind of drips in. Skaz, her family's not dead.
Oh.
I mean, a few of them are dead. One was very dramatically dead, but yeah, one of them's just my great uncle. It turns out is an asshole who killed the God Emperor, and that's why Taram's fucked up.
I think I heard something about that.
Fortunately,
Sorry about that.
the specific relative this plate is from is fine.
Yes.
That's good.
Oh,
Well-
speaking of, we still haven't had the wedding yet, so you haven't missed.
Oh, I'm
that.
so glad I didn't miss the wedding. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Uh-huh.
In that case, if you don't want to keep the plate, I would like it back because I like getting my puff pastries.
You hang on to it.
Thank you.
He gave it to you anyway.
I love this plate.
Everyone, we have a hero's feast waiting downstairs. Make sure you get some of it because the magical benefits are helpful.
Yeah, this was completely by accident. I am so sorry, everybody.
There's
That's
a
great.
shout.
It's like-
There's a shout from the kitchen area. Drinks are coming.
I like drinkies. Scuzz finds his room. He grabs his scum plushie, brings it downstairs. Is a happy goblin.
Gent is trying to research if there are any particular notable centers of undead, specifically in northwestern Eastveld, up by the peninsula that we're supposed to be going to.
Go roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
With advantage because you have a facility.
Ithram is going to be researching, recognizing and safely utilizing portals that may or may not be permanent and or tied to other planes.
22.
An investigation check with advantage. Or
Valdes is
having
going
a
to go eat some of that
facility.
hero's feast.
Give me a costume. No.
I have an inspiration. on
So
this.
the hero's feast has enough food, by the way, for 7 people. So
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 of us, so 2 people will not be able to partake in the heroes.
Again, we've already had dinner today.
Yeah, but your dinner was basic and not magic.
Yeah.
Well,
hero's
no,
feast
Grumman
Archfey.
didn't make dinner. We had dinner with Ithram's dad.
Well,
No,
it-
we
no,
had
it
we
was
had a
just-
we had a drink with Ithram's like clanmate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah,
you
he had
haven't
some
actually
soup,
had dinner.
or some
Yeah.
stew too.
Oh,
but
okay. Well, never mind.
yeah.
A drink and some stew is what
To a
we
festival
was
start.
offered to us, and I think Ithram was the only one that had a bowl of stew.
Yeah.
I like to
so-
think that Ithram and Gent
Grumman
go off to
definitely had
research,
the
and by
stew.
the time they get back down, all the food's gone.
Yeah, no, that sounds right.
Yeah, like an A.
So Ithram and Gent are the ones who don't get the hero's feast.
Yes.
Yep.
Vespia's researching too.
Okay.
Yeah. So for it's been a while. So for those of you that don't remember, a hero's feast. You
I
are
just
cured
looked
of
at
all. You are cured of all diseases and poisons. Become immune to poison and being frightened, and make all wisdom saving throws with advantage, as well as your hit point maximum being increased by 2d10. Titania, since you opened the cloche, roll 2d10.
Okay, real quick question because
Yes.
I'm looking at the spell Heroes Feast and I don't know if this is different, but
It
it,
is
says
the same.
up to 12 creatures.
This item in particular feeds a number of people equal to the dice rolled when you summoned the hero's
Okay.
feast,
Never
which in
mind.
this case was 7.
You said 2d12?
2d10.
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 So
And
whoever
9.
of the 7 gain an additional 9 get an initial 9 to their hit point maximum temporarily, and also gain the same number of hit points. The benefit lasts for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is mechanically a hero's feast, except the number of people that it can feed is dependent on the dice roll. So, which is why it is, which is how it's balanced for being a thing that can occasionally happen once every 1d12 days, without the cost of materials.
Do I remember correctly that Ithram does not drink alcohol?
No, he does. Just
Okay.
not as much as others in the party.
Just not as much as the licentious nobles.
What does Ithram like to drink while researching?
He might have. It's like it's a very few and far between thing, but like he might have just either like a brandy or something that you can just nurse for
Okay.
a while,
Yeah.
because
So-
he actually wants to retain the information that he's researching.
So while in the researching area, as long as it's not closed off, Grumman will come up in a little while, and he has a tray. Is Gent in the same area as Vespia and Ithram? Or are they sort of disparate?
The library is
I
all at
would-
the top of the building, so you would be in.
We're on the same
floor.
floor, but he's probably a little ways away.
Okay. All right. I assume Vespia is close to Ithram.
Mhm.
All right. So Grumman will go up. There is a little tray with cheeses and some nuts and things like that. And two cups. There's a small tumbler with a plum brandy. And he will put that down next to Ithram, and he will give Vespia what is very clearly like just a sex on the beach. And
That Jack and Nikki made the hand sign at the same time. Particularly impressive.
Same
considering
brain.
They're out of sync 3 time zones apart.
Look, man, we're good at our business.
Um,
and what about Ghent? What has Ghent expressed an interest in enjoying, or at least been observed of enjoying?
So Ghent is when it's relaxation party time.
Yeah.
Is almost indiscriminate in his alcohol consumption. He'll drink anything.
Yeah, but-
when he is working, the only thing he drinks is whiskey sour.
Okay, all right. So there is a whiskey sour.
Okay, yeah,
and a small a small like bowl of nuts and a few wedges of cheese. Not the sort of like couple's plate that Grummond made for Vespia and Ithram, and puts it down next to Ghent and just says some brain food. And then we'll sort of...
Excellent. You're a gentleman and a scholar. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm neither of those two things, but I appreciate the votes of confidence. And we'll go off. And then for the rest of the group, what is a common drow drink in this world? Is there, John? Is there something that Grummond would sort of associate as like a safe bet for drow?
Give me a history check with your wisdom.
Oh, thank God. Okay. So that's just a straight wisdom roll then. I got an 8. Any chance I could get advantage because I'm a bartender?
Yeah. Let's go with advantage. Come on.
All right, 18.
Okay. So there are no monolithic cultures or heritages in Gran Terra, except for very, very, very few instances of very specific kinds of people. So there's not like for instance, a drow drink.
No, I guess the question would be like, what accent then does Sin have in this current form?
But that particular accent is unknown to you. But there is a particular kind of drink that is basically the base of it is produced very similarly, and then it is accented differently for a wide variety of elven peoples that come through Swiggle. And you have noticed that yes, Nikki, Swiggle, the city of pores. It's where Grummond is from. Ruled over by Her Lady of Grain.
Mm-hmm.
Continue, please. Please continue. Don't mind.
You should come by. You'll have to try dabus in my bar.
What's a dabu?
What?
What's a dabu?
Dabus are the creatures in Planescape, but it also sounds like dabus, like that you drink.
I don't get it.
That's okay.
Nikki
anyways.
also doesn't play Farscape. I'm sorry. The joke went.
Planescape. Farscapes would be a very different thing.
But anyway,
I
anyway.
play games.
Yeah, real gamers over here. Yeah, there's a particular kind of drink that is flavored that is accented differently, based on what sort of culture or lineage that the elves in question tend to come from, and it's a drink that's designed to be sipped, not chugged, not drunk quickly. And typically what they'll do is it will be a series of layers of wine, either red or white, depending on personal tastes. And there are multi-layered suspension within the wine. So basically, there's like a pour of wine and then a suspension of another different liquid or alcohol, and then another bit of wine and then another suspension. And it's poured in such a way that they maintain viscosity until it begins to drink, at which point it all starts to mix. And typically, the layers between wine will be some sort of thicker, heavier, either alcohol or mixture of like a cream or something like that, depending on the desired taste. Given Sin's particular taste, you're figuring probably a darker wine with something a little bit sweeter in the layers, just to sort of give it an interesting mix.
All right, I will spend a significant amount of time making that, and it's going to be really funny when Sin is in a different shape when I go to deliver it. But I'm actually going to make 3 of those because I have is Annabella hanging out with Drummond in the kitchen or while these are being made?
100%, absolutely.
Okay, am I correct in my thinking that this is something that Annabella would be into trying?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I'm making one for Annabella. I'm making one for Titania because it also sounds like a Titania jam, and then I'm making one for Jeremy. I'm sorry, I can't remember Sin's current name. Zara. Okay. And then Valdeth is getting a like a sherry aged glass of old Scotch, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And Scuzz is getting essentially like brown buttered rum, but it's like a goat butter broth. So it's the consistency kind of like a latte. So it's been whipped with the goat butter, cinnamon, allspice, some star anise, and some sugar and a little hint of vanilla in it, mixed in with a spiced rum.
I want this. I, Nikki, want this. That sounds tasty as hell. I was ready for you to say a juice box.
No, God, no. I mean, unless that's what you're into, in which case that's what you get.
He would happily take a juice box, but he will also excitedly take whatever this is.
Okay, so there is this goat buttered rum and a juice box.
2 drinks for both hands.
Here, we made these myself. It's a Capri Sun, and it's just a picture of Drummond standing in front of the sun wearing capris.
Are you praising the sun?
Right, yeah, absolutely. I'm wearing William's favorite shirt, and
I love that fucking Solaire shirt.
And I think that's everybody. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. Okay.
So you are all in Drinkend, and Ithram and Gint are studying. Vespia, were you also researching or no?
Yeah, she is.
What are you doing?
She wanted to do a more general search for, I cannot remember the guy's name. The guy that I learned about like the previous night when I went to the library.
Oh, Kestrel?
Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
The mage.
She wants to do a more general search for him, and then she also wants to do a more general search for things that can kill or injure gods.
Okay, so going to be an investigation check with advantage for having access to a library. An ever-changing library.
Just at some point during the night,
19.
or during that, Ithram's gonna futz around with the Crystalline Chronicle and swap a spell.
Okay. So, Ghent.
Yeah.
You're sort of studying through the books, and as you're, listing through, you're thinking about places that are really, particularly strong with the dead or populace known, specifically in Eastfeld. As you're reading through and skimming through, and you recall, actually, it's not even in the books. As you're something in the books strikes your sort of mind, and you recall that you heard a story of a lich being driven out of Eastfeld by Galadir, which means that there, at least at one point, was a lich yard somewhere in northern Eastfeld near where Galadir's tower currently is. And it sort of strikes you as like, oh, wait, hang on. There's a person that might know more information about where this is or might be able to point me in a direction for something like that.
Okay.
Nothing else in specific from the library, though.
Okay.
Ithram with a 17. What were you looking for? You were looking for portals.
Yeah, how to identify
Do you think
non-traditional portals and
so you learn quite a bit about portals, and the big thing that you learn is that depending on where the portal leads to will basically influence what it looks like. You sort of get you get a hand at identifying what kind of portal you might be looking at, where it might be going if it's not blatantly apparent. And you learn that basically anything can be a portal so long as it is anchored in space and time. So like that's it's hard to like describe, but that you do get a sense of why teleportation circles, for instance, are the way they are. They are not a portal, but they're a door. They're sort of an invisible doorway between circles, and that anchoring is what lets them be as accurate as they are, and it gives you an idea as to why sort of teleport itself is a little bit riskier, because it doesn't have that anchoring that these other forms of travel do. Anything can be a portal, but the more secure and the more steady and the more consistent its base is, the more accurate or the more reliable it'll be.
Okay. Need to look for blue chalk on one side and orange chalk on the other. We'll know it's a safe doorway.
Exactly.
According to the great notes of the wizard Shell.
And Vespia, 19, you find nothing in this library talks about Kestrel. It's kind of pointedly so that nothing in this library talks about Kestrel. As you're looking through it, you've understood that this particular tower changes its library every day, or basically every time it's summoned again. The books in here are different. What you can find is different, so you can always make these rolls again. But it's interesting that nothing talks about Kestrel, and you sort of thinking about that, and it would imply that more than just the kingdom is sort of locked out of space and time.
Mm-hmm.
It seems almost like information about this individual is reticent to be put down. At least in this particular time frame. But that's what you all find out as you are researching the night away. And the rest of you enjoy a hero's feast. And
I have to
thereof.
go bother Ithram at some point. Just
And
let me
Titania
cast.
goes to bother Ithram.
Yeah, I need to
Never
cast
a
this-
bother.
Yeah, I need to cast the spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It takes an hour to cast antipathy on you.
Yep.
all right.
So just
I should point out that antipathy isn't just 60 feet. It's if they can see you, or otherwise if they don't
Correct.
see you, if they get within 60 feet of you.
Yep.
So the fear effect is actually line of sight.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, I'll do that.
Of the concept of there's a dot on the horizon. I have no idea what it is, but it's making me real nervous.
I would say that
That's-
they would have to be able to cognizantly understand you from a visual perspective in order for that to be line of sight. So like if you are, for instance, a water elemental that is currently disguised as water, just because they see water doesn't mean they're going to be afraid. They would see you coalesced as a water elemental, as an example.
They have to be able to distinguish you as the target for the spell to take effect.
Exactly. Otherwise,
Alright.
then they have to be within 60 feet. They don't have to see you if they're within 60 feet.
All right, I'll do it on giants because we think that's going to be a little bit better, more useful.
What's it look like when you cast the spell? For over the course of an hour.
Yeah. I think you're all very busy studying, and I don't want to get in the way.
I'll take a break.
Okay. She's gonna have you, I guess. She's probably doing it kind of like yours, because these are more complicated spells, and so they're a little bit more like finicky, I think. And she's picked up like casting from all of you people who do it weirdly. I think she's using that sort of techniques, so it's like chalk on the floor kind of situation.
Yeah, and once again, as Titania is sort of going through the motion, and those of you that are in the area will be able to see it.
Colored chalks.
As Titania is going through the motions of chalking down these spell circles and chanting and preparing materials and applying them, you watch as she begins to channel magic. That dark figure, that black shrouded entity, appears hovering behind her and is mimicking her motions.
She's gonna hand you something. It smells real bad. It's like a rag soaked in alum and vinegar. Doesn't smell great. Well, you just have to hold that until I'm finished.
Oh, yeah. Every movement, perfectly in sync, this figure right behind her, every step of the way.
What is Vespia's vibe during this whole situation?
She's just watching closely. She'll glance up from her books. I picture she's sitting on the floor with like 5 or 6 books around her in a circle.
Cool.
You notice that every time Titania picks up her scythe staff to partake in the ritual, the creature, the specter behind her, manifests a much larger scythe in the same hand and uses it in the same motions.
First time it happens, Ithram freaks out a little bit. But every time after that, he's good. It's just part of the spell.
Does Titania seem aware of this figure behind her?
Titania?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So mechanically you are aware of it. Do you give it any like notice? Is the question, I guess.
No, she's not acknowledging it. Not for this. Yeah.
Okay, because the first time that happens, he like, and then like looks to you real quick to make sure everything's good, and then all right, back. All right, everything's good.
It's like it's got a weapon.
She's not freaking out. I'm not freaking out. I know how
it's
magic works.
normal. I can. Yeah. I might be able to scare some things away too. So, we've got a flexible plan. Keep drawing.
It is a little disconcerting though when Titania does her like little short head nods and like energetic, bobbing and weaving, and the spirit behind her is mimicking it.
Yeah, it's a very lively skeleton.
No skeleton, black robes, nothing inside except the outline of the outline of a bloodstained jaw underneath the hood.
And more of like a ghast or a specter kind of.
Yeah,
it's the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
It's the ghost of Christmas yet to come with a really strong jawline.
It's Willem Dafoe. Let's be honest.
Willem the friend.
Gent, seeing that that's well in hand, is actually going to go try and find Zara.
Zara's probably in her room, just relaxing.
She's kind of on the door frame, probably. Excuse me.
Yes, please come in.
I had a question about Galadir.
Yes, you usually do.
Frequently, and you are our local expert on the chat.
Such as there are experts about Galadir, yes.
I feel like he's the sort of character that honestly people could get graduate degrees in, really. Do you have any
Doctor of Galadirology
anecdotal evidence or reports or knowledge of, did he chase off a local lich at one point?
Would I know anything about that
Yes.
in my studies?
It's not so much that he chased off the Lich, so as it is that he moved in and the Lich moved out.
Yes, there was a bit of I would not go so far as to call it a dispute of property or neighboring zoning, but Galadir is not one who you go to for a neighborly cup of tea or to get sugar from. So
No, he didn't really have that sort of deportment.
there was a lich who I seem to remember upon Galadir finding his home, the lich decided that there were better places to live.
I see.
I do not believe, I am not certain, but I do not believe that Galadir pushed these person out. I believe they just went on their own accord.
And is this like is this the tower that Galadir is currently residing in, or someone that was nearby, or was it previous? I'm trying to get a point on the actual location because, well, you were there. Places where the dead walk freely is where we're best likely to find cracks that we might be able to exploit for the ethereal plane, etc., etc., etc. You see where I'm going with
and
this.
You want to go to the Sleechy's place and potentially use it as an into the ethereal plane.
If we're talking about budgeting our resources, I assume that maybe a plane shift spell could get us all there collectively, but
yes,
it'd be good not to waste that if we can just find, a doorway.
Absolutely. No, it's nearby. It's not, you didn't just take the Lich's home. I mean, think about it from the Lich's perspective. If Galadir was near you, wouldn't you want to be elsewhere, just personality-wise?
Probably.
Yes. It's nearby, and I understand your point. I would suggest, and this is not saying that this is a bad idea, but I would suggest entering the former place where a lich lived may also require us expending many resources.
No, that's quite a reasonable perspective as well.
So it may be a better option.
It may be a far more expensive option at the end of the day.
Exactly.
All right.
It might be worth trying to, if we have someone who can scry on that area, checking it out and seeing how things are going there. I personally have not visited.
Yes. Well, and honestly, in all likelihood, this is one of those sort of down the road kind of decision choice points anyway. We kind of have to handle our Titan skull thing before we figure out where we end up, because if it dumps us out literally at the peninsula, what's the point of backtracking several hundred miles just to find,
Right. But yes, it is an option.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So, Titania, you finished casting your spell.
Yep.
Antipathy applied to Ithram.
Cool.
Holly, is your husband dying in the background, or is that someone else coughing?
I don't think that's Austin.
I definitely hear someone coughing in the background. Oh, okay, it's over there. You feel that surge of energy as the spell completes, and then as it finishes, the shade vanishes.
Hand back the supplies.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. That should work.
I felt
be like-
something.
Yeah. Don't try and chat up any giants for the next 10 days. It's not going to go well.
We'll keep that in mind.
This is the point where we learn that like Vespia's secretly been a giant the whole time. She walks in and screams and runs out.
Yeah, I mean that was a consideration with the dragons. Like, is Vespia a secret dragon? We could find out right here.
Succeeds the wisdom save, nothing happens.
Yep. Yeah,
Vespia, make
and
a wisdom
then-
save.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Okay. I'm like,
You're like, did I not know I was a dragon
yeah,
Or
apparently.
a giant in this case.
Very well
or
hidden.
giant?
I'm going to go to bed now. Make sure that someone eats the rest of the hero's feast, please. It's a lot of food downstairs.
All right, so really quick, who all partakes of the hero's feast? There can only be 7 of you.
I'll skip
Annabella,
it.
Titania,
Sure.
Valdeth, Sin, Scuzz, I know already started. 2 more.
Yeah.
I am already immune to disease and poison. Somebody else should take it.
Okay. Then I guess I'll grab some on the way down.
Ithram?
Because he's not going to spend the night in the tower.
So one more between Ghent and Vespia.
I'm fine either way if you want to take it.
No, you take it.
Okay. All right. Let's be able to take it then.
So all of you get 9 additional hit points, 9 additional points to your hit point maximum. Make note of where your hit point maximum is right now, because you will be going back down afterward after 24 hours. And are immune to poison and being frightened. You are cured of all diseases, so Ithram, that itch will go away. And
So close to 100 hit points.
I'm so close.
you make all wisdom saving throws with advantage.
Excellent.
Yeah, he'll let Ithram will let everybody know that he's going to be spending his night actually out in the tent with the Legion, if you need to find him. But
And
all
you
the facilities are theirs.
You all bed down for the night and rest. And that's where we'll take it. Well, that's where we'll end for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Good. Bye.